What up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna go a little outside of Kate's comfort zone, okay? Because I can pull together some pretty creative recipes when it comes to lunch, dinner, snacks, even dessert. But one of the areas I always struggle with is breakfast. We just get in a rut, and most of the time, we're just eating like an egg and cheese sandwich on an English muffin or a bagel. However, I do want to mix things up, so I'm taking you guys along on the journey as I discover some really delicious breakfast options that are balanced but easy to throw together, because we all know the last thing you want to do in the morning is cook something super elaborate. So all of these recipes are 5 ingredients. We have a great variety of different options because I know some people like sweet in the morning. I know some people like savory. I know some people don't even really want to eat something too heavy. If you happen to be new here, hi, how are you? How's the family? My name is Kate. On this channel, I do a lot of videos like this where I try to give some inspiration for your meal planning. If you end up enjoying the vibe while you're here, I would love it if you'd consider subscribing. All right, if you're also ready to mix up your breakfast menu, let's dive into the video. Okay, my friends, we are starting off with a smoothie. And what I love about this is this smoothie could be just completely on its own, or if you wanted to, this could be kind of like a treat that you serve with breakfast. I am actually doubling this smoothie because I'm making one for John and one for myself. So the recipe down below will be for 1 serving, but you're gonna see me doubling up. Also, I just wanted to show off an idea that I had, because one thing that I always struggle with is on the almond milks, it always says to consume within 7 to 10 days after opening. And sometimes I fly through almond milk. And then other times I can't remember the last time I used it. So I put a little sticker on the top with the date for myself. Hopefully you can see it. That way I don't have to stress in trying to remember if it has been 7 to 10 days. I know that's kind of a loose number anyway, but anyways, for a single serving, we're gonna do 3/4 a cup of unsweetened almond milk, and then you would do a half a banana, but I am doubling, so we're throwing in a whole banana there. We are going in with some unsweetened cocoa powder. We're just gonna do about 2 tablespoons, and I'm just gonna use a spoon estimate on that. Looks good enough to me. We're also gonna be doing some collagen, but you could just use whatever your protein powder favorite is, or if you wanted to, you could just do a scoop of Greek yogurt or some other form of your favorite protein. So I'm doing half a cup of collagen because it's 4 tablespoons per serving, and we're doing 2 servings on it. And then last but not least, the star of the show. I got these sweet dark cherries. They're frozen from BJ's, and I have just been loving chocolate cherry smoothies. Now, we are keeping this simple and just going 5 ingredients. But let me tell you some other things that we mix into these when we make it. If you want it to be sweeter, you can add some honey. I also like putting a little bit of almond butter in there every so often for myself. You could do peanut butter. We also like adding things like chia seeds, hemp hearts, flax seeds. So you can kind of customize this to however you want, but sometimes simple is really good. So we're just going with the 5 ingredients for now. But you could always taste this sweetness factor and see if you need to add a little honey or sugar or maple syrup even if you wanted to. All right, there we have it. Some chocolate cherry smoothies for him and for her. These are like super duper thick. So if you want like a thinner style, you could always thin it down with some more almond milk. But I personally love a smoothie that's very creamy and substantial, you know? She thick. Half the time I forget that I'm drinking a smoothie and it melts down a little anyway, so this works out perfect. Cheers. Okay, friends, next up for this one, 5 ingredients. We have some oats, we have some chia seeds, we have some unsweetened almond milk, a mango, and some sweetened coconut flakes. Again, can be customized, so if you're not into mango and coconut, you could do banana and peanut butter. This is super easy to swap things out, but the idea is we're gonna make some overnight oats. I have these adorable little containers that I got on Amazon. There's something like that feels like self-care when you eat something out of a cute cup. I don't know what it is. I will link them down below. I will also link these because when I make John overnight oats, I like to make it in this so he can take it to work because it's got a lid that screws on. These are one of my favorite things because I also like to put sauces and things in this, so I'll also link that down below. We're gonna start by just peeling up a mango. That is the toughest part of this. I'm gonna prep 2. I like to prep fresh fruit in this container. That way it's grab and go in the mornings when it's really busy. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep 2 mangoes and get some of them in there, and then the rest will be used for the overnight oats. If anybody has tips on cutting mangoes, please feel free to share with the class, because I swear I feel like I cut mangoes in such a chaotic fashion. But it's like you can never tell where the core is. So I just kind of keep cutting around it until I get stuck almost. Like right there, I'm getting stuck on the pit, I'm guessing it is. And I just hate wasting fruit, so I like to go around and make sure I got as much as I could, but I seem to miss some. Looking good to me. I feel like I should have used a much bigger knife for this project, but that's okay. This mango was like not super ripe yet. So what I'm trying to do is take the pieces that feel a little bit more ripe, and that's gonna go in the overnight oats. And the ones that feel like they have a little bit more work to do, I'm putting in these ones for storage. That way they can kind of ripen up in the fridge. And I'm not being super picky about the sizes of my mango because I don't mind big chunks. But you could obviously dice this up however your heart desires. Okay, look at that. Now we got mango for snacking or for smoothies or for whatever we might need. Okay, now first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get half a cup of rolled oats right in there. I get this huge bag from Costco. I think it's like $7.99 if I remember correctly. And we just love them so much. We are then gonna do half a cup of unsweetened almond milk, another thing that I grab at Costco. This is the vanilla flavored one, but you could use whatever milk you like, dairy, non-dairy, whatever your heart desires. Now at this point, if you wanted to, you could add a sweetener. You could even add like vanilla extract, you could add honey, you could add maple syrup, but we're just gonna keep it simple. We're just gonna mix that together. Okay, now I'm gonna put the equivalent of like 1/4 cup of mango. There we go. We are then gonna do about a tablespoon of coconut flakes, but you can kind of just use your heart to guide you on that one. And then also about a tablespoon of chia seeds. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and stir that to incorporate everything. We especially want those chia seeds to get in there because they make it almost like a chia seed pudding. And I'm just gonna push that down just to make sure all of the liquid is covering. And then in the morning, you could drizzle some peanut butter on this if you wanted to, some almond butter. You could drizzle some honey. You could eat this alongside a protein shake. You could do it with one of the other items that we had, but this actually has a pretty good balance of nutrients already in there. You could also, if you wanted to, stir in a scoop of your favorite protein powder if you want to bump it up even more. But that'll be waiting for me in the fridge for tomorrow's breakfast. Hey friends, another 5-ingredient idea. We're gonna do some cottage cheese bowl. I know that not everybody loves cottage cheese, but this could easily be switched out if you wanted to do yogurt instead. But for me, I just absolutely love cottage cheese, so if you're like me, that's what we're going with. We're doing cottage cheese with some non-dippers on the side that I am currently heating in my air fryer so they're nice and warm. The cottage cheese is gonna get topped with some walnuts, some blueberries, and a little drizzle of honey. If you don't want to do honey, another option you could do is balsamic glaze. I love balsamic glaze on cottage cheese. So if you want to kind of go more of a sweet and savory route and mix it up a little bit, you could do that. But we're going to go with honey for this one to give it a little sweetness. Okay, now depending on your goals, that's how you're going to decide how much cottage cheese you want to put in here. For me, I want some extra protein for this and for it to be pretty hearty. So I'm going with a full cup of cottage cheese. But if this was like a snack or something, you could always adjust that based on your personal goals. So we're doing about a cup there. We're gonna go with about 1/4 cup of blueberries. And then we're gonna do about 2 tablespoons of chopped walnuts. All right, and then last up, we're just gonna drizzle some honey over it. And then I have those cute little non-dippers we're gonna serve on the side. And there you have it. A little cottage cheese bowl to start your day. Fun fact about me, I don't really like avocado, but I get FOMO because everybody makes avocado toast look so good. So if you're like me and you also don't like avocado, I have an alternative for you. Ricotta toast. We just air fried some sourdough bread to toast it up, slathered a little ricotta on it, put down a little bit of spinach, and then some nice hot fried eggs that wilted the spinach a little, and then drizzled some hot honey over it. This is going to be a hyperfixation breakfast for me going forward. It was so good and so easy to put together. My friends, so we are moving on to some breakfast burritos, and these are also 5-ingredient. I'm gonna make 6 of them, so then we have it for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But what's cool with these is you could do a large batch if you wanted to, because they freeze really well. We've frozen breakfast burritos plenty of times in the past. I'm gonna start by putting down a little bit of steamed sweet potato. John had steamed this up for me, probably like the equivalent of 2 tablespoons. And if you wanted to, you could even like smash it down a little to give it a base for it to sit on. So that is what I will do, because why not? Okay, so sweet potato went down, and now we're gonna go ahead and put down a breakfast sausage. This is an apple cinnamon breakfast sausage. It's Johnsonville is the brand, but you could just use whatever breakfast sausage is your favorite. And if you wanted to, you could even double up on the amount of breakfast sausage you put on there if you want to make a big pack. We're just going with one. I'm gonna do a little bit of scrambled eggs that John had prepared. You could also just do like a fried egg if you wanted to. He was just doing meal prep, so I'm just using up scrambled egg. If you wanted to, you could add some cheese. If you wanted to make it a little bit on the spicier side, you could add some pepper jack cheese would be really good, or some Mexican cheese, some Monterey Jack. And then last but not least, we're gonna go in with some salsa. But you could do, if you wanted to kind of switch this up and make it more, like lean more into the sweet side, you could go with some barbecue sauce instead. Okay, and then for the salsa, I'm gonna try and keep it like as chunky as possible and not get too much of the juice, because you don't want it to get too soggy. Wow, you guys, you're just gonna let me miss those two over here with the scrambled egg situation. What kind of friends are you? You guys must have been watching that like, wow, girl, what you doing? Okay, and now we're just gonna go ahead and roll these burritos up. I don't even know, are they burritos? Because does a burrito need to have bean? Like what is the classification? What are the qualifications? What's the resume of a burrito? That's what I need to know. You know? So in the morning, John will just air fry these. So I'm gonna go ahead and store them in this little meal prep container. I'm just gonna squeeze them nice and tight for storage purposes. You could also wrap these up in some parchment paper or aluminum foil and then freeze them if you're making a big batch. All right, look at that. 3 days worth of breakfast for 2 people, taken care of in a very short amount of time. Pop the top on that, and that will be waiting for us in the morning. All right, you guys, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. It means the absolute world to me. I feel like I have not in a long time taken an extra moment to thank you for how wonderful you are. I cannot tell you how much it lights up both John and I's lives when we read through the comments, and your absolute supportive kindness that you always show us. It means the absolute world to us, and I don't feel like thank you would ever be enough, but it's all I really can have to give. Until hopefully someday we can meet in person and I can give you a big, embarrassing, awkward, overwhelming hug. I hope I delivered whatever you needed when you clicked on that thumbnail, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye.